Good morning, everyone. I hope you had an enjoyable weekend being locked down. Another month. Yeah, well, what can we do? All right, so this morning we have a neutral open here, and I guess a little sun. And we've got these sell setups everywhere, meaning we've got this bounce off of the low last week. And Friday was an interesting day. I mean, they're all interesting, but in that you had a very negative or bearish gap down. You see the rallying during the week, the accelerated move into Thursday, and then a gap under all of this support, and it sits there and it held for hours, right? So it was one of those situations where, I say, well, someone will say, well, why? I said, well, it went up because it didn't go down. So as it was just chopping, as you can see here, sideways, 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 the bearish setup, those shorting as it popped up, you can see right here, as this popped up into this little resistance area here, it came right back in again and it holds and it comes back up again. And then, in the latter part of the day, it's like, okay, sellers throw in the towel and then get this little rally. And then as it perked up there, you can see on the 5-minute chart, right in the last half hour, it collapses right back down again. So pretty odd, wild kind of price action. Well, you got this kind of a market. But anyway, so now, we've got this continuation, or I guess a further development of a bearish pattern of this gap down, the retest of the highs, and then this huge big red bar. And so far held support. And now it's grinding up pre-market up here at around 255, 256. So gapping up, kind of like just below the middle of the range. So neutral, right? It's just neutral, and we'll just have to see where it goes. Maybe it keeps rallying up. I mean, it's got the void because of the fast move down on Friday. It's built a base and it's moving up. So holding the top of the weekly candle. Well, the top of the weekly candle is way up here, 300, Paul. All right, so, well, that's a monthly candle. I'm sorry. I must have changed that to look at that over the weekend. Yes. Thank you. So 255, 256, yes. So we've got this situation here where, I don't know. It's at a whack here. The big move down, and so with this daily setup, with this weekly setup, it really should be a transition point from green to red and getting some kind of a retest. Now, if by Wednesday, Thursday, we're still trading in this upper part up here, I mean, that'll have to be viewed as at least somewhat bullish. I mean, this vertical move to the downside is extremely bearish, but it's created this void. And what I said in the video over the weekend, ideally would be like for this to come down, retest, and put in some time, building a larger area of support that could result in a bigger move. Now, the other scenario, we always have two. I said, well, what if it doesn't happen and it results in, let me just get my drawing thing out here. What if we get this by the end of today and it actually closes above that? Then our bias has to go to thinking measured move to the upside. So we've got this sell setup right here. Right? Downtrend, shallow rally. Right? Media is talking, 20, 25% rally off of the low. big deal. It got crushed. So just looking at the chart and forgetting percentage-wise, this sets up your ideal W bottom kind of a sell setup, yet to be seen. If it reverses, well, then a measured move up into a larger area of resistance. Well, we'll see if that actually happens. Let's clear that up. And again, so if it can get through here, we have to be thinking it's going to go higher. Breaking down below Friday's low, well, then we got to think lower. Well, you know, in all fairness, well, Mr. Trump may be doing a good job, but it's all in his best interest to have a V type of a bottom and the market to rally right back up again. He would like nothing more than to have this market go right back up to the old highs. And I guess that would be the ultimate odd, crazy, unhistorical pattern to have a drop like this and go back up to the whole old highs immediately. So that would, you know, in my about 30 years of doing this, I've never seen such a thing happen with a weekly chart that looks like that. Okay, so let's see where this goes. You know, we've got this reversal. I mean, what more could come out today that, I mean, news-wise, to drive this market higher? $6 trillion. That's a lot of money, right? And yeah, I mean, there's more bad news coming. Who's going to go bankrupt? You know, another month of businesses being closed down, that's not a good thing. And, you know, so I don't know what big businesses are going to close down, but, you know, a lot of little businesses are going to close down. And, you know, this money that's going to be sent out, I mean, $1,200 to individuals. Okay, I guess they could buy a few things, but I guess that pumped into the economy does something. But overall, at the end of, you know, probably week 1 or 2, most people that are living paycheck to paycheck are going to be, well, where's my next check? You know, so, you know, it's kind of like putting a Band-Aid on a, you know, a mortal wound, so to speak. Anyway, so we'll see how this sets up here. But, you know, for the moment, it's just neutral. Be nimble, right? Maybe it could rally up and just be, you know, open to breakout failures and whipsaws and so on as this thing evolves. I guess another way of saying is don't be pressing the accelerator too hard. You know, smaller positions, and you know, I guess you got to give them a little room. But sometimes that works a whole heck of a lot better than you know, trying to get in there and thinking things are going to take off. So we don't have a pattern just yet to think things are going to take off. But especially under Thursday's low, we should get some good momentum to the downside. I don't know about SPX levels here. You know, looking at the futures, you know, this bar is just starting, so who knows what it'll look like. I mean, if it closes deep into that red bar, we have to be thinking it's going up to 2,900, right? I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. You know, where, you know, this is now coming up toward this resistance area. So that's why it's always good to be looking at the overnight information. So let's just call it, if there's premiums above 2,600 and maybe for today below 2,400, you know, I'm always looking for, you know, ideally what could be a no-brainer. So I guess for today, those are the levels that I would use, above 2,600 and below 2,440. Yeah, if premium. Yeah, absolutely. Joe and YouTube says, just print more money. Yeah, of course. All right, let's keep going here. Qs. So another bearish pattern, right? you know, the same thing that went on, bearish gap down. It didn't follow through, went up, collapsed at the end of the day. And now 187, 188, not a big deal, but, you know, upper part there. Same story. Russell, 114. So again, gap up into this bearish reversal. Same story. You know, let's see how it unfolds. Doesn't look too bad, right? Transport's held up pretty well, but bearish hourly chart. We'll see where this all goes. And Qs. Let me grab that. Right at resistance. Sellers will be there. And 7,500, 7,700. That's, I guess, the playground until proven otherwise. There. And below 7,500 probably makes a pretty quick move down to 7,400. And again, let's see where this candle ends up here today. You know, it could be one with a tail on the top. It closes in the bottom. You know, how far it gets into the red bar, that'll be telling. You can see it, the resistance there, the same. So, you know, a little sitting on the hands there at the open. If you're aggressive, short under the low, see how far it goes. Want to short the NQs or the spiders, you know, then we'll see how far they go or the lack thereof. You know, a breakdown that springs right back up again would be bullish. And of course, you know, you're at resistance, you got a topping tail. So shorting it up at the highs here, maybe it drops, you know, a decent amount, you know. I mean, you've got trade setups that they're like, that's the textbook. And you've got others that are like, well, I got one, you know, setup or time frame or two time frames giving me some ideas, but others are not in a line. So, you know, you just can give it a shot with a smaller position. It's all, excuse me, in your personal plan. You know, grinding up toward its resistance area. Same story everywhere. Oil, you know, coming down to 20 bucks. We'll see if it wants a hold. It did once before. And we'll see. That's where the buyer stepped up before. Do they want it again? We'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, absolutely, Clint. The first 30 minutes, let's see how they, you know, whipsaw it or follow through one way or another. Bonds pushing up. That's a bit of a negative, but it's got some heavy lifting to do there to get through that level. You know, it's an area. So you can just do it with this little fancy tool right there. So that's kind of a, you know, negative that it's going up, but at resistance, putting a potential cap on things unless it picks up some momentum. But, you know, maybe it can't go so far. So the market's kind of just hang there. And gold is down a little bit, pretty neutral. Powerful move down and right back up again and just chopping around here. So neutral to bullish. Silver kind of rolling over. And what else to look at here? Well, let's take a peek at where my internals here. Is that it? Yeah. So breadth is neutral. That's our sentiment gauge, actually. Neutral. But what I wrote about in the letter, this is a positive. Historically, when you have breadth that's down, and this is really extreme, I don't know if I've ever seen a minus 400. I've seen minus 350s. So maybe this is new. But historically, when you get a blast off from the low level to the high level like that, that's a positive, meaning the relatively small move up relative to the big move down can set up the W bottom. But this supports the idea that that could be a buyable event because the breadth was so strong coming off of the low, which means institutions were participating in a big way. It wasn't like it just kind of inched its way up, kind of like this kind of a grind here. No, it was a blast off. And that's a good sign. Nonetheless, it's in a downtrend in multiple time frames. So we'll just have to see how it unfolds. More later today. All yours, Dan.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I sure was hoping for the double bottom. But as we've been, saying, when we get the internals cooked like that, it's just been my experience. You can be more aggressive and not have to, look for the perfect setup. And, we got it on last Tuesday's gap up day. So we have sell set up here, 15-minute chart, as Greg reviewed there with you. Let's take a look at opens. Wow, look at our Chewy. We elected to sell that into the close, but that was one of the most bullish setups that I found. Well, somebody in the room gave it to us on Friday afternoon. Let's look at opens. We have pretty light, very light inventory actually, with a lot of things expiring worthless into the close and profit taken. We were 17 for 17 on our directionals last week, so very, very good trading week. DRI here, we're short $15 puts. That looks great, and we're bidding a dime to try to get out. We started nibbling on some shorts. We got Honeywell and LOW and WWD was a beautiful late day breakdown. We shorted sell setup daily. That's it. We only have 4 opens in the swing letter. Weekly, Facebook, we did a call spread, and WFC, we have a put spread, and that's it. And I mentioned in the weekend videos and in the letters that liquidity has just been atrocious on these options, and they even spoke about that fact in a little Barron's article. That's just across the board. Liquidity's been bad. Let's just go through some gappers here in earnings. ASML I think it was earnings and they withdrew guidance or something. It was a bearish close on Friday, gapping up 262. There's no pattern on the daily, that's for sure, but possible day trade long, 30-minute high. I think this had earnings. Now see, this is the retest that I would love. See, that's a W bottom. First bottom, second bottom retest with a bullish gap negating that. Beautiful turn. And, that's what I'm hoping we get here in the broader markets. Yeah, hey, Mark. Yeah, I got Abbott in my list, sure. Abbott 82. Wow, yeah, that's a big gap. J&J, yeah, and it was funny. They were talking about, hey, I was just listening to some of it, coronavirus, vaccine, this and that. But then they said, even if they have it, it's not ready for use until next summer. So over a year away? I mean, I'm thinking, I sure hope that's not a problem a year from now. Wow. Can you imagine? I mean, the government's $2 trillion deal, I think, is only to buy like a month's time. They spent 1/10 of the national debt on that. I guess, increased it another 10% with one stroke of the pen. Yeah, and they won't profit on it. Yeah, I heard CNBC talking about that. And, do you think that matters to the shareholders? And, they're saying, I'm not going to make any money. Then why are you gapping up $8 or whatever it is, $6? All right, let's continue. Calm. That's very bullish, chopping around sideways consolidation. McGraw, this is a definite put spread candidate. Lazy Boy said they're going to shut down some plants and things. Apron, gap up, $12. It's just going sideways here. Maybe 30-minute high over the pre-market high. $52, that's a bearish gap down. Nothing, I don't know what to do with it. APT. Oh, I put this. This was a long in our swing letter, and now the gap's messing it up. Yeah, it's messing it up. So let me tell him to hold off. Nice, McGraw. Calm. All right, 1 second. Just posting this for our subscribers. Hey, Debbie. So this was our trade. Now I'm canceling it. All right, but yeah, we'll watch it on a pullback. Let me put him in the upper right here. APT. BL. This, it's gapping. Oh, look at that big gap. But this is, you remember we had the MT live on the turn, TURN. This is the beautiful turn. Right on support, came down hard. A 180 reversal, 2 inside bars. That would have been a long over the high, over Friday's high, but gap's messing it up. I don't know what's up with this little guy, but it looks like a Corona stock. I noticed airlines getting beat up here pre-market. They're just, that industry's getting hurt so bad. I mean, so many industries, it's really sad. Tourism, hospitality, airlines, restaurants, oil. I read in the journal today that they're now they've run out of space to store oil, fuel, because I think the journal said the airlines, I don't know, this can't be worldwide. I think the US, they were talking about 7 million gallons a day. Does that sound right, G? 7 million a day. And, a lot of the airlines and, truckers, et cetera. But so now they're having they're having to play the game. Well, it's not a game, it's business of, all right, is it cheaper to store this, of when I think I'm going to be able to sell it. So delta down. Let's LUV, UAL. This one, okay, this one ain't bad. UAL, short, 30-minute low. Let me put them here. JetBlue. Let's check the cruises. Yeah, I got us out of our cruise ship puts last week. CCL, RCL. I just got an email from our mayor who's mad that they're trying to bring a Holland American ship that's stuck in the Panama Canal here to Broward County, and they got 4 dead people on it and 125 corona sick people. And he's like, I don't want them here. We got our own problems. Boeing was a sell setup, gapping down. Let's keep an eye on that for a call spread. Abbott, that's the 83 bucks we looked at. J&J, Cake, 1847. All right, see, this is building a base. It's relative weakness. The market had a big green engulfing bar. This is still not ready, but maybe over 20 bucks. It's worth watching. BWA, I wrote this one down. It was just mentioned in a Barron's article about, there's various articles coming out about, hey, what are the best stocks going to be? And this was on somebody's list, but I wrote it down because if it can take out Thursday's high, then it has a price void. I think it can come up here. So that would be a good trade. On Daku, I like the deep retracement, bottoming tail. So over Thursday's high, I like this for a put spread. Work, 100% retracement. If it can go sideways over time, then it might break out. CBS, bottoming pattern. Look, the charts work. This is support. So if this can get over 30-minute high, that looks like a put spread or a swing trade. RWT, we were watching the gap on Thursday. Inside day, price void, that's worth watching. FSLY, little short setup under last week's low. HUA. Now see, I like the sell setups that only come from a V down here, as opposed to these overlapping bars are obviously more support. There's our little APT. MPC, we had a long on Wednesday, and I like the bottoming tail and the gap fill here. Price void, so that's worth watching. WTFC, a financial, if it can get over last week's high. There's the Chewy, Chevron, sell setup, ACN. Debbie, I got this from you. I like this as a put spread, but this was one of the examples where the spreads were atrocious. Keys, wide range breakdown, short under Friday's low. ALB, short under Friday's low. SYF, short Friday's low. NTAP, I like this one long over the highs. And, even though we came to the market bearish today because of everything Greg showed you, I have a number of longs in the letter because they're good patterns and they're only going to hit if they're strong. So end tap here. If the market were going to be weak, this should not trigger. If the market wants to get strong, this is a beautiful W bottom with a new low. So looks nice. Yeah, I see cruise lines getting hit again. I'll put end tap in a window. Now Qualcomm, another bottoming pattern. If it can get over the highs, this was another put spread candidate, but the stupid